Alright, hello YouTube, Chris here, and as I told you guys on my 4,000 subscriber video that I would be doing a Q&A for you all sometime soon with Facecam, so that is what I'm going to be doing today. I have to use my iPhone once again because my webcam just will not work for me. I'm going to have to buy a new one, so until I get a new one, I'm going to just have to do these Facecams with my iPhone. So hopefully the audio isn't too bad and we can get some of these questions out of the way. I did get a lot of questions, so I'm going to have to break this up into like a 3-part series, I guess, if you want to call it. No way I could get all these questions done in one episode, otherwise we'd be here for hours. So, anyways, guys, if I didn't answer your question today, we'll get to it in a future episode. So, let's go ahead and jump into some of these. Alright, the first one is, how long have you been with Code Zero? I have been with Code Zero, I believe, 5 months now. I joined YouTube back in January, and it wasn't too much longer after that when I actually joined Code Zero. So I want to say I've been with them, since February of 2013. May, June, so about 4 to 5 months right now. That doesn't feel like it's been that long at all, but I can't believe it's actually been that long, honestly. But yeah, so it's that'll answer that question. Alright, next question. Let me find one here. Alright, will you ask the crew to let Conway play a round of multiplayer? Conway will never be able to play multiplayer. I've told you guys this multiple times in comments, but for those of you who maybe not have seen him, Conway works very early in the morning. Actually, I don't see him as often as you guys probably think I do. And it's just, we game late at night with Code Zero. I don't think we've ever done an official patrol any earlier than like 2 a.m. So, Conway works early in the morning, and there's just no way. He can't do it. I can't be that loud with multiplayer because I live in an apartment complex. My girlfriend lives with me, so I can't keep her up at night. So that's why my multiplayer, my voice is usually a little bit lower and not as enthusiastic, is because it's late at night and I just can't be loud. So there's no way. It's not going to work. Conway to do a multiplayer with the entire Code Zero, it won't happen due to time restraints and, me having to be quiet at night, which Conway and I are not quiet when we play. So, it won't happen. Alright, next question. Do you use a keyboard or a wheel? I use a keyboard. I believe Avs and I are the only two in Code Zero that actually use the keyboard. Bugs, Zach, and Tim use the Xbox controller. I think Jeff every once in a while will use the wheel. Bugs might even use the wheel every once in a while. I'm not sure, but they mostly use the Xbox controllers. But I'm a keyboard warrior, so I stick to that. Alright, next question is, have you ever been to college, or do you plan on going, and what or will you study? I was in college for a numerous amount of years, and then I dropped out because I'm a dumbass, and now I regret it. So I am going back to school in the fall. I'm going to be going to a university about 30 miles away from where I'm at. It's kind of a drive, but they specialize in law enforcement, so very lucky that I have a college nearby that specializes in something I want to do. So I'm going to go back for police studies, is the actual degree is what it's called, but it's law enforcement. It basically teaches you how to be a police officer. Will I be a police officer or will I apply after that? I don't know. I'm getting older. I'm 27. I don't have too many more years left. Most police departments, at least in my area, don't want anything to do with you if you're over, 32 years old. So I've been trying to be a police officer for years, and it's not easy without a degree. It's not easy without any kind of military experience or anything along those lines. So it's really hard for me to get in, so I need to go back to school, and that's what I'll be doing this fall. Alright, next question. What is your all-time, or personal all-time favorite cop car? Oh, geez. I would say my favorite cop car is probably Hillsborough County, Florida. I just like the way that their design is. The colors looks really good on the cars. I love a lot of police cars, though. It's really hard for me to pin that as my favorite, but I'd say right now, if I had to answer the question, that would be my favorite cop car. If you don't know what it looks like, just Google image it, and it's a pretty nice looking car, so yeah. Alright, next question. Let me just find one here. How hard of a game is LCPDFR? It's not really that hard. It takes a little bit to get used to. There's still times where it looks like I'm still learning it, and the modding process is definitely the hardest part. Playing the game isn't as hard. I've kind of customized my controls to match what I do better, and since I've done that, it's been easier for me. But the modding is the hardest part of LCPDFR. Once you get the hang of it, though, it's really not that bad. But if you have no modding experience like I do, you really have to have help from somebody, because it's just it's almost nearly impossible to learn on your own. Which I did, learn a lot on my own through YouTube tutorials and, forums, people asking questions and all that stuff. So you'd be amazed how much of it you can learn by simply Googling it or YouTubing it. So, all right, next question. Are you a Louisville or Kentucky fan? For those of you who don't know, I live in Lexington, Kentucky, which is a huge college town. We have a really good, we have had really good basketball teams in the past, and last year wasn't that good of a year for us. But anyway, if you live in Kentucky, you're either a Kentucky or Louisville fan for the most part. Both programs are really good in sports. Maybe not so much football, but basketball, they're both really good programs. Of course, most of you may know Louisville won the national championship this past season. And it's kind of a hatred for another in our state. It's an in-state rivalry. I am a Kentucky fan, of course. I live in Lexington. I live just miles from UK's campus. And so I am a Kentucky Wildcat fan, but I do not hate Louisville like most Kentucky Wildcat fans do. I'm not a fan of Louisville. I don't want to see them win, but when it comes down to it, there are other teams out there that I hate, like Duke, way more than I hate Louisville. So I'm a Kentucky fan, but at the same time, I do not hate Louisville. Alright, I'll probably just get to a couple of more questions here. If you became a police officer that pays more to a different state, would you go? I honestly don't care how much I get paid. When I first started out being a police officer, I could get paid $25,000 a year, and I would take it no matter where it's at in the world, or United States. Oh shit, it's storming like a bitch. Sorry, I thought someone was trying to break in or something. Would I go to another state? Yeah, I probably would. Not because it pays more, though, just because I want to get out of Kentucky. I have tried to go to South Carolina a couple times, didn't pan out. Florida didn't pan out. So it just depends on, where I want to go. I tend to be more of a beach person. It's kind of weird me living in Kentucky saying that, but I really want to move to a beach, and I've tried to get onto some police departments in those kind of areas, and once again, it hasn't worked out. And I think it's just because my resume is so terrible. I don't have any school. I've had several jobs the past few years, and it's a really inconsistent resume. So I think that's what's hurting me the most. But anyways, yeah, I will go to a different state, but not for the pay. Alright, it's raining like a bitch out there. Let me find another one here. I'm starting to run out of questions for this episode. Alright, here's a question. Have you ever been to Florida? If so, what city? I've been to Florida a couple times, but recently I went to Tampa and Clearwater, Florida. We stopped by Miami while we were down there, and did not like Miami too much. I loved Clearwater and Tampa, but Miami is a gorgeous city if you've never been there. It's very pretty, but the people are terrible there. I did not meet anybody that was decent. I hate to say that publicly, but when we were down there, everybody was an asshole. If you didn't have money, you were a nobody in Miami, and that's just how the culture obviously is down there. Plus, I'm not the most fit person, and to be on the beach in Miami, there was a lot of people that were really in really good shape, and you could just tell that I didn't belong there. So, when I went to Tampa and Clearwater, though, it was a lot different. People were a lot more friendlier. The traffic wasn't nearly as bad. The beaches were still, pretty, but they weren't as pretty as Miami's. Miami's probably got the best beach I've ever been to, minus the people. But, so anyway, yeah, I drove all through Florida, but those are the two places I've actually stayed at. Alright, I think I'll answer one more question for today's episode. Alright, this one is, do you ever live in Arizona, and how did you become a Phoenix Coyotes fan? I have a lot of family out in Phoenix, Arizona. I've never lived there. Unfortunately, I really wish I did. Phoenix is probably my favorite city It's just one of those places that I love to visit, and I'll always love to visit it. But that's kind of how I became a Coyotes fan. For those of you who don't know, the Phoenix Coyotes are an NHL team. I'm a huge hockey fan, which there's not many of us here in Kentucky. But it's just kind of the hometown feel with Phoenix. You know, the other half of my family lives there. So it's easy to become a Phoenix Coyotes fan. Plus, I really like the team. My cousin out there, she's dated a couple of Phoenix Coyotes players. So I got to know the team a little bit better in my younger years, not so much now. But that's pretty much the gist of my Coyotes. That's how it started. It was just, you know, going out to Phoenix and seeing a few Phoenix games. The Coyotes were the first professional hockey team I ever saw play. I live close to Columbus now, so I go to Columbus a lot, but Phoenix will always be my favorite team. Columbus will follow in second. Alright guys, I think that's all I'm going to answer for today. I don't want to make these videos too long. Q&As that are long I tend to get bored of, so I don't want you guys to get bored of them. Once again, if I didn't answer your question, I will try to get to it in a future episode. And for those of you who don't know, if you're blind, Turkey Hat has been on top of the Angry Birds Pig on the episode here behind the couch on me. And we are both going to check out with that. If you guys have more questions that, you know, maybe haven't been asked yet, feel free to leave them in the comments, and I will get to them as soon as I can. I hope you guys enjoyed, and we will see you next time.